You're looking at the best there
Austin
is.
316.
What do you guys want to talk about? I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest. I'm the best. I'm the best in the world.
Let me talk to you. Yeah.
You will rest in peace.
Welcome back, guys. This is episode 2 of the Source WWE AEW All Things Wrestling podcast with Joe
and Mike.
Yeah.
It's episode 2, and we're shaking it up already. We're going to be doing Collision, NXT Vengeance Day, Raw, and NXT today. And then we'll come back with you Sunday night for the rest, a.k.a.
Friday Night SmackDown, and also special coverage of the WrestleMania press conference. We open up today's show with AEW Collision, live from Texas, February 3rd, 2024. Opening match, Continental Crown Champion Eddie Mad King Kingston versus the Bounty Hunter Brian Keith. So the match starts out with some collar and elbow tie-up sequence, some heavy striking back and forth, some big, woo, Ric Flair style knife edge chops being thrown at each other. Eddie Kingston getting thrown hard into the barricade. The whole way through, it's pretty evenly matched. Ends up with Eddie Kingston getting the win via pinfall with the backhand slap. 1, 2, 3. Next up, second match of the night, we got the American Dragon Bryan Danielson versus Hechicero from CMLL. Match starts off fast with some mat grappling, chain wrestling sequences, a lot of submissions, some I've never even seen before. And then Danielson pulls out the surfboard. I don't know if you remember the surfboard.
I don't.
Okay, so basically you're on your opponent's back, you're standing on their back, and you kind of slap their sides to get them to pull their arms back, and then you just wrench all the way back, dude. The surfboard was performed.
I did see that.
Pressure was reversed by Hechicero. Extremely technical match. Big suicide dive by Hechicero. Yes kicks and all. Bryan wins with a surprise roll-up pinfall. Cut backstage to a promo with FTR and Daniel Garcia. They're building up a trios team off of a big win on the previous show. Building for a main event match versus Christian Cage and the Patriarchy. Mike, what do you think of FTR?
Love them. You recently filled me in on their little run with WWE.
Yes, they were actually the revival in the WWE.
Love those guys. Love their entrance music. Love their vibe. Top guys.
Guys.
They're carrying Collision, in my opinion. They're on Collision right now.
They are Collision
They're
talent,
carrying
yes.
it. They really are. I really do think so. Them coming out with, what's his name? Daniel
Garcia.
Garcia. He needed that too, because that made 100%. Him pop more too, and he needs that right now. Like he's starting to reach that next level.
You never know. This could be another contender for the AEW Trios Championship. You never know.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's what they're building for sure. I don't think there's room right now for FTR to have the tag titles. I think they're not in the equation. There's too many moving parts right now.
Right.
But I think that what's next for them is the trios titles, because they have to have some kind of gold.
Right.
They're really, popping. They're carrying the show. So I think they should
heavy
run
hitters,
for,
man.
or at least have a run for the trios titles.
Right.
If
Maybe
they win or
come
lose,
close,
whatever. But
something happens, it backfires on them. But dude, we're all sold on FTR.
I see that happening.
Match number 3 of the night. It's a handicap match, folks. 2-on-1. You got the FTW champion Hook versus the Outrunners. Starts off fast. Hook's busting out suplexes early. He's suplexing everybody. I wonder where he learned that from.
The truth be told, Hook's growing on me. At first when I saw him, because I'm a little new to AEW, but I'm pretty well versed now.
It took me a bit to get used to him too.
When I first saw him, I was like, who is this twerp, 16-year-old kid, and why does he have a title on him, and what is going on? And then I saw him wrestle.
He's the real deal, dude.
And I saw him wrestle Samoa Joe a couple weeks back or so. And that was close. Awesome.
He ended up
that won me over. I don't say it won me over. I'm still not sold on Hook, but I think he's definitely important. And I'm seeing him more in that realm of what I'm saying, of what they should pump of their, homegrown talent like Orange Cassidy.
Oh, yeah. You need to push those
Hook
guys
now,
hard, because that is the future. That is the future of AEW, whether anybody likes it or not. That's what it is. The wrestling community was pretty pissed off, though, because during that Samoa Joe title match with Hook, Hook ended up kicking out of the Muscle Buster. You got to protect your finish, but I don't know. I thought it was a good match. So, he's busting suplexes left and right. He then takes a double suplex from the Outrunners. He's getting the best of both competitors, Turbo and Truth, from the Outrunners. But it ends up being Hook with that choke out submission, no tap out, go to sleep. Kind of reminiscent of Taz, as it should be.
Yep.
After the commercial break, we get Mark Briscoe, one of them boys, in the ring for a promo. He talks about watching old school wrestling with his brother, who has since passed away, so he's no longer a tag team competitor. He's talking about the Ric Flair days. He's talking about last week's cage match, how brutalized he was. And then the lights go out. House of Black appears on the screen. Talks about making Briscoe himself disappear.
They're powerful right now.
They are powerful, but
they look
do
good.
they know actual magic tricks? You know
Maybe.
what I mean?
I don't know.
They are great. Love Malachi Black. He's actually married to Zelina Vega.
Yeah. I've seen some videos, some funny videos with them in it.
Yeah, man.
online.
They're pretty cool.
Being
So
cute together and stuff.
at the end of the promo, everything's just black, basically, and that's the end of it. Then moves on to another promo with Adam Copeland, better known as Edge. I still got to get used to saying Adam Copeland. It's a promo on the
I like Edge. I do.
Edge is the way. Edge is
It kind
the
of
way.
I feel like I'm being robbed right now.
Yeah, but
whatever.
WWE owns that trademark copyright. So sorry, Tony Khan. We have to deal with the Radar superstar Adam Copeland. Next up, we got Serena Deeb versus Queen Aminata. Some technical chain wrestling, some submissions back and forth. Aminata's testing Deeb. Like, she was really testing her, like, basically saying, how far are you willing to go to beat me? You know what I mean? Aminata hits her with a neck breaker onto the ropes, which looked pretty brutal. Deeb hits the Serenity Lock, wins another match by submission. It's seeming like nobody's going to get out of that submission hold for sure. Up next, we have a promo with our guy, Whose House?
Swerve's house.
Swerve's house. Swerve Strickland. He's out there in the ring with Tony Schiavone cutting a promo on being the number one contender for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. He's talking about his match coming up with Hangman on this week's Dynamite. The winner of that match will face Samoa Joe for a title shot at Revolution. He then shouts out Ron Simmons, Kofi Kingston about paving the way for Black History Month. You know what I mean? Those guys are fucking legendary, bro. Absolutely legendary. And then he continues to say he's next on that list. And honestly, I see it. Fifth match of the evening, Red Velvet going against Vert Vixen. This was a very quick match. I would say, honestly, less than 2 minutes. Red Velvet's got 57 AEW wins so far in her career. She wins quickly with a strong sidekick. Completely one-sided match. I don't think Vert Vixen even showed up to wrestle, to be honest with you. We cut to a black and white backstage promo now with timeless Toni Storm.
Love her.
She's honestly doing some of her best work right now in her entire career. She had a great NXT run, but it wasn't with this timeless Toni Storm character. She's calling out Deonna Purrazzo, telling her she's coming for her.
And I do not care about Palazzo
No.
whatsoever.
No.
They're making such a big deal about her, and she's not good. I just don't see the appeal.
I don't
I feel
see
like
the
there's
it
so many
factor.
others she could be going up against.
And I agree. She could be having matches against Saraya. She could be having matches against Julia Hart. There's plenty more talent on that roster she could be fucking with. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. But I get it. She's returning. They need to have her return with some pop, and
Definitely.
going against, Toni Storm is going to do that for her.
That
I
is
get
a-
what they're
that is a
doing,
marquee
but if they
matchup.
have her take the title off Toni, I will riot on the street. Somebody can take it from her, but not her.
No, I
That's
agree.
all I'm saying.
She's too green.
What a boring title run that would be.
Yeah, I'm not with
So
it.
full of herself and ugh.
Yeah, timeless Toni Storm's where it's at for sure. Main event time. It's Christian Cage, TNT champion, and the Patriarchy versus FTR with Daniel Garcia. Match begins with Dax Hardwood and Nick Wayne in the ring. Dax is just beasting him. He's overpowering him. Christian then tags in and obviously retreats. Garcia and Nick Wayne battle. It's back and forth. Kill Switch comes in. He just straight dominates the entire match. Lots of near falls. Lots of cool double team moves. Some that looked honestly fresh and new. Garcia pins Wayne by roll-up. That's going to be the end of our AEW Collision coverage. We are now going to move on to NXT Vengeance Day.
Well, NXT Vengeance Day happened on Sunday, and it was
surely did.
awesome. It was
Sick.
honestly a stacked lineup, and NXT is really entertaining me these days.
They are. You got to give it to Shawn Michaels right now. He's putting on great shows for the people.
The talent is just like, not to mention that WWE has amazing talent on the men's and women's side, but
God.
now
Yeah,
they
we'd be
have
here all night.
as well a stacked NXT, which is just amazing to see. So the future looks really bright in general for WWE, obviously, the powerhouse.
Yeah, for sure.
They opened up Vengeance Day with a bang. It was the Dusty Rhodes
Big
Classic Final, the Dusty Cup.
Big match,
And we
man.
had my favorites, the Wolf Dogs, they
Yo,
call
they're
them.
so cool. They're
You know,
so cool. They
Baron
came out-
hates it, hates being called the Wolf Dogs.
Right.
Braun loves it. I love that they brought them together. They're such
It was
great
awesome.
personalities to bring together. They're
That
both
double
badasses.
biker entrance was pretty sick.
Yeah,
man, not
on the
gonna
dual
lie.
bikes, couple dual Undertaker entrances
Those
right
are the
there.
vibes
American Badass.
I got from that 100%.
But yeah, it was the Wolf Dogs, Braun Breaker, and Baron Corbin versus Trick and Mello, which is obviously another fan favorite right there.
Whoa,
the
that
best
Trick.
friends. The match was awesome, but I think Braun Breaker was peacocking the whole match. He was killing it the whole match. It was really,
sure.
he was really
Dude, he's
stealing
ready.
the entire show, the
He's
entire
ready,
match.
man. If anyone's ready, it's Braun fucking Breaker.
When he came out, there was a lot of barking from the audience.
yeah,
But when
yep.
Trick came out, it was just deafening for him.
Whoa,
but
that
he didn't
Trick.
translate in the ring. Braun Breaker ended up hitting a huge spear.
Massive.
And got the 1-2-3. He shined the entire match. It was awesome. They celebrated after Baron Corbin
Big
finally
time.
won
Finally
his Dusty
gets his
Rhodes
win.
Cup. And it was a fantastic match, and I'm
was.
excited to see them now get their title shot against the Family. Kind of sad about it because the Family are my favorites,
They
and I
are.
think that Braun
They are, I
Breaker
know.
and Corbin win that and take the titles,
then
and
that
that
run might be
makes me
over for
sad
them.
because I like the Family as champions. But you never know what will happen.
Absolutely. That's the best thing about professional wrestling. You literally never know.
Next up was an awesome matchup to follow that one up. It was Dijak versus Joe Gacy. And I'm
Banger.
telling you, when I first started seeing Joe Gacy and his cult and the whole thing, I wasn't that into it. I thought he was
Yeah.
cool. I thought he had some personality. But
He's kinda coming
whatever
to his
he's
own
doing
now.
now is head and shoulders, leagues above whatever he was doing with the Schism. And honestly, Joe, he's giving me Mankind vibes. This
Dude,
whole
same.
matchup.
Same, man.
Because
He's
it was
even
a
got that
hardcore
look a
move.
little bit.
You know what he has? He's
What?
got that "Have a nice day."
He really does.
You know what I mean? How
He
many-
really does. Don't be surprised if he pulls a sock out of his fucking
Oh,
tights.
we'll see what happens. But, this is a no disqualification match, which was why it kind of gave me Mankind vibes.
For sure.
Seeing him in this element, I was like, okay, this guy's got a future here.
Oh, yeah.
And, at the end of the day, he just got beat up, took a lot of pain, took a lot of punishment, and just
all-
laughed in
it's
Dijak's
all
face.
for the
To the
gram.
fact where, he had Dijak his whole around his mouth and head duct tape so he couldn't talk
it's
or
pretty
say
insane.
anything, and that was pretty cool. But Dijak was going to win this match. He hit the Feast Your Eyes twice,
Yeah,
pinned
man.
him for the 1-2-3, and honestly, Joe Gacy was just laughing in the ring, and you just see
kinda
Dijak
concerning.
just kind of leave the ring looking at Joe Gacy laughing and
Yeah.
being like, I'm out of here. This is
Dude,
crazy.
I don't blame him. I'd be out too.
Next up, we have my favorites, the Family, the tag team champions.
Put some respect on that name.
With as well Adriana Rizzo, who's
Yes.
the new member.
Very
in a
lovely.
three-way, trios match, I guess you could call it,
Yeah.
even though they don't call it that.
Yeah,
in
but it's a
NXT
trios match. It fucking is. I don't care what anybody
against
says.
OTM and their new member Jada Parker.
Right, which is interesting.
And not to mention Scripps is there with him, and I don't know where Scripps kind of fits into things because he once was a wrestler and now he's more of a
Yeah.
mascot. But
It happens sometimes. It's not for everybody.
it was entertaining. It was what you thought it would be. The big OTM guys, being bruisers in the ring, beating up on Channing Lorenzo, Stacks. But then once Tony D'Angelo got that final tag in, he came in and just
was a
overpowered
rat.
everybody.
It was a fucking rat.
Overpowered everybody. And then he hit the forget about it
Forget
to
about it.
Lucian and got the 1-2-3. And there it was. The Family won. And that was a great moment.
Agreed.
Now it was time for the Women's Championship match. Lyra Valkyria versus Roxanne Perez. I like Roxanne Perez. I think she's
great.
kind of reviving herself a little bit right now. But I don't think a title reign was ever in the picture for her right
probably
now.
not.
They're trying to build up Lyra. You can tell. I'm never been 100% sold on Lyra, but she's growing on me.
There's
I guess
room to
a
work
little
for
bit.
Sure.
She took the belt off Becky Lynch on that weird
Yeah,
title
man.
run that she had. For some
that was
reason.
special.
But this match was cool. It was a battle. You know, Roxanne is a brawler. Lyra is does all the fancy tricks and moves. But at the end of the day, Lola Vice came into the match and turned in her contract and made it a three-way match, and then it got crazy. I'd say Lola Vice comes in and she does these weird leg kicks and acrobatic
Educated
things.
feet, as good old JR would say.
Yeah, she does. She does have some educated feet. But at the end of the day, once again, Lyra Valkyria had the Night Wish, slammed down, got the victory, and that was it.
No one gets
we'll
up.
see where this goes from there. I don't know if Roxanne Perez is going to get another shot at it or if Lola Vice is going to get redemption, but we'll see where this goes.
100%.
Now a match that I was kind of not excited about, but I'm starting to get excited about Obafemi a little bit.
Yeah.
They signed him 2 years ago.
It's been a while.
He's been building, and it seems like he's really done a lot of great training. He looks phenomenal in the ring,
Definitely
and he's
looks
stealing
like a
the
student
show.
of the game. Definitely looks like
All
that,
the
for
other
sure.
NXT superstars right now. Dragon Lee had his moments.
He did.
He had a big power bomb off the turnbuckle on Obafemi, but the rest of it was basically Obafemi just dominating Dragon Lee in the ring.
Literally a dissection.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, Obafemi hit one of his big power bombs, got the 1, 2, 3, and that was it. Retains his title. Dragon Lee chapter is now closed with the North American title, and we can move on from it and watch this awesome Obafemi run that we're seeing right now and seeing where it goes. Next up, we have the main event, the NXT title matchup that we've been waiting for what seems like a month.
My God.
Trick versus Ilya Dragunov in the title bout. It was a great matchup.
Very sick.
Trick Williams, it looked like he might have won this matchup if nothing weird happened. But, of course, Carmelo was on the side of the ring.
Mello was money.
Supporting him. But at one point on the side of the ring, he goes for Dragunov, and Dragunov gets him to go right into Trick Williams' leg. So he injures his leg in the matchup.
And he sold that hard, too.
Yeah, he really did. And then they get back into the ring, fighting again. Trick Williams seems to be overcoming the injury. And then,
He's
Mello.
whooping that Trick.
Yeah, Mello is distracting the ref at one point. And that's when Ilya Dragunov hits the Trick knee for the 1, 2, 3. And Trick Williams loses this match. Ilya Dragunov is still your NXT champion.
And still.
Yeah, leaves the ring, goes
Gone.
backstage,
Yep,
and there's
gone.
Trick and Mello. Mello comes over and says, "You're my boy." And then as
Or
Trick
is
turns
he?
his back, the betrayal happens that we've really been expecting.
We've been waiting for
a
it,
long
man.
time. It's pretty obvious that Mello was jealous of Trick's success.
100%.
And it all came into fruition. He hits him down, hits him by the knee, knocks him down,
That's
goes
it.
and gets a chair, hits him, and then it's official.
It was pretty reminiscent of the Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty going way back to before even the Attitude Era. Best tag team, best of friends. All of a sudden, it's over. Someone's getting super kicked in the face.
Oh, absolutely. And now we get to see Carmelo's dark side. And I'm excited to see where this goes from Vengeance. And we're going to cover it a little bit on the NXT recap. But,
Absolutely.
Carmelo going dark and going heel is an interesting thing now. And I'm very interested to see where this goes. And there it is. There's Vengeance Day in a nutshell. There's your recap.
Yeah. As we move on to Monday Night Raw, February 5th, 2024, in St. Louis, Missouri, it's a big show.
Yeah.
It's a massive show.
And it starts off with my boy Seth Rollins coming out right out of the gate.
Yeah. So he's coming out, he's doing his thing. The crowd is going crazy, chanting his war theme and all that good stuff. He comes out, basically he's calling out Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Cody then comes out.
Big pop.
Big pop, mega pop, big pyro. I wonder what that pyro bill is every time he steps through that curtain.
Right. So it's Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes
Yep.
face to face again, ready to talk it out, right?
Right. And he's basically acknowledging that Cody is the guy. And
if you want to be the man,
you got to beat the man.
And he said no, he's got to beat the best to be the best. And he says Cody is the best.
Right, and he's also
admitting for some reason that Cody is the best.
Right, and he's also saying that he needs this match just as much as Cody Rhodes does.
Oh, absolutely, he does to be valid.
Yeah, right. For validation purposes.
Yeah, validation purposes.
Cue Drew McIntyre's music. He comes out. He's got this shirt on. Of course. He's got this shirt on, though.
Yeah, he's got the funniest shirt on.
It's this photoshopped Drew McIntyre in front of a tombstone that says, like, CM Punk's WrestleMania main event.
Yeah.
And he's, like, chucking the peace sign.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the shirt's great. The crowd's booing hard. Drew's basically making his case for the title while also saying, Cody, dude, it's kind of time for you to make your choice. You don't want to let your dad down. You want that title he never had type deal. You know?
Don't let your dad down. He basically thinks that he's going to get a title shot. And even Seth Rollins is like,
right.
What makes you think that you can get a title shot against me
he's
again for the third time when I beat you twice? And, Drew kind of claims outside interference had a lot to do with that.
Right,
and
And also he mentions that Cody's beaten Seth 3 times.
Uh-huh. And he kind of, starts to frame Rollins as the horse that needs to be shot when it's injured and put down, and he's going to be the one to do it. And
McIntyre wants to be the guy to carry on the championship. He goes, Seth, dude, you've made that championship what it is, but it's time to let it go and give it to Drew McIntyre.
So he basically, as he finishes his sentence of how he's going to execute him, headbutts him, and, brawl starts, and Cody gets mad. And
yeah, man. And then, you cut to commercial, and you're just like, wow, that really just happened.
So many feelings in that moment.
Then they decide to announce the Elimination Chamber qualifying match for later tonight with Becky Lynch and Shayna Baszler.
Dope.
First match of the night is a fatal 4-way tag match with the Creed brothers, who we all love. They are absolutely awesome. DIY, Imperium, and The New Day. And the winner of this tag match will go against Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. So Ciampa and Woods start the match. We got some double team action by The New Day, Imperium, Smash, and Kofi Kingston. Julius Creed hits this swanton bomb off the top rope like Jeff Hardy, like on steroids. Off the top rope to the outside.
The Creed brothers, top talent.
Top tier, 100% for sure. Ciampa then hits the white noise, Sheamus's move, on Woods from the top rope to the outside. We're just going to stop and say that the Creed brothers are machines. They're machines.
Dude. They're awesome. They're athletic. They're strong. It's awesome.
Then Brutus gets up to the top rope, hits that Brutus ball to the outside of the ring to the floor.
Love the Brutus ball. Love Brutus.
Yeah, man. And you got DIY actually picking up the win with a double super kick.
And this is another WWE mystery.
It is.
That I don't understand.
This push for DIY.
Yeah, the push for DIY. You read my mind. Literally read my mind.
Literally. It just happened, folks.
And the ignoring of riding what I like to call the hot hand. You know what I mean? Like, it's like LA Knight, right?
Exactly.
It's like,
you want to ride
LA
that.
LA Knight's hot. Throw him a title. See how it sells.
And
it
will.
Creed brothers, throw them the titles.
Yeah.
At least have the Creed brothers go back and forth swapping the titles with Judgment Day.
Some kind of sick feud with the Judgment Day would be
like
cool.
That.
And
in the end of it all, Judgment Day keeps the titles. I'd be cool with that.
Yeah, I mean, it would kind of, just be another notch in their belt. It would take them up to the next level.
But instead, we just get to see DIY. And if they win it, I'm not going to be I'd rather see Judgment Day have the belts than DIY.
Same.
Literally.
Yeah. I'm not on that DIY train right now.
No. Chances are they might get him, and then Judgment Day will steal him back.
It's happened before, guys. Cut to backstage. We see Shayna Baszler. She's cutting a promo on Becky Lynch, basically saying that Becky has no shot. No shot at winning. She's going to the chamber in this qualifier match.
Which is believable, right?
It is absolutely believable. The submission magician.
No, she has no stand a chance against Becky.
No, not at all. This is the man we're talking about. Absolutely. And the man's coming around to St. Louis. After Shayna's promo, we now get one from Becky herself, basically saying she needs to win. There's no option of losing this match.
Yeah, I think this has to do with the fact that she lost to Nia Jax.
Right.
She feels like her credibility has gone out the window. Mm-hmm. And if she doesn't win this next match, or possibly the Elimination Chamber in total, that she might...
Could be a bust.
Yeah, it might be done for her is pretty much what she's kind of hinting at.
Exactly. She's saying she needs it. She's saying she's basically guaranteeing that she's qualifying to make it to this chamber match.
It has to happen.
So the match starts We're talking back and forth submissions. Becky tries to hit that disarm her early and try to tap out Shayna. Didn't happen. She countered it. It then cuts to Liv Morgan backstage watching this match on a monitor, basically saying, hey, I'm calling my shot. Becky hits the manhandle slam. Match is over. You guessed it. Becky Lynch is going to the Elimination Chamber.
Yeehaw.
We then get a backstage promo from Liv, basically calling her shot again, saying she's coming for Rhea Ripley. She's coming for her neck. She put her out. She's the one who injured her.
I don't see this happening. I don't see her beating Rhea Ripley. It's not believable to me.
Yeah, totally not believable.
Nia Jax is more believable to me
100%.
than that.
Or
maybe eventually Jade Cargill. But
yeah, no, that would definitely be believable too. Like,
not going to be Liv Morgan. If it is, that'd be cool.
I know.
Pretty cool. But
She had a good title run before. She really
take it
did.
off Sky. Don't take it off Ripley.
Yeah,
we're enjoying this run right now.
I know
Come on.
we are.
Next promo was basically Drew McIntyre and Adam Pearce backstage. Adam Pearce is basically reaming him out, and he says, you know, you're going to notice when your paycheck's missing a few zeros.
Oh, yeah.
And
big fine coming.
And I thought it was kind of funny that Drew McIntyre sat there and was unfazed by the fact that he was losing money.
Didn't
seem to care at all.
Rhea's music hits.
Boom.
Massive pop. She comes out. She's, basically untouchable at this point in time.
She's pissed. She's
She is
foaming at the
super
mouth
pissed.
in the ring, pacing back and forth, demanding Nia Jax come out.
She needs it. She doesn't want to put the title up against anybody else. And then it's cue Adam Pearce.
Adam Pearce comes out and basically is like, nah.
Not tonight, man.
This isn't happening here, like you've seen him done.
Yep, many times before.
And he's all fired up. He's vintage Adam Pearce,
he is.
red face, scolding. This is going to happen at the Elimination Chamber. You guys are going to face off. Ba, ba, ba.
Yep, title match confirmed. Out comes Nia Jax. Mm-hmm. And then it's just a war. She's
fighting through security. He's calling for security. They're separating them. It's a mess.
And it ends up being Nia Jax destroying the entire security unit and everybody else around her.
Absolutely, including Rhea Ripley.
Next up, you got Alpha Academy's Akira Tozawa and Maxine Dupree versus Ivar and Valhalla of the Viking Raiders. Super quick match. Viking Raiders get the win with the War Slam from the second rope. I really thought Maxine needs work. She's still looking pretty green out there. Moving along, you get a Judgment Day backstage promo. Dominic's basically saying Rhea is heated. She's pissed. And then the Golden Man, R-Truth, shows up.
Oh, man. He just pops up. And you just love it. You just love it. He just pops up like nothing ever happened last week.
Yep, exactly. Like he's supposed to be there. He ends up punking off JD McDonough. Still thinks he's in the Judgment Day.
He says it was his second initiation. He was like, this was the real initiation. I could feel it.
Exactly. And then after that, it's just him and Priest. And Priest is like, you know what, Truth? Make yourself at home. Just hang out, man.
So I guess he might be
in the Judgment Day? Next up, fourth match of the night, you got JD McDonough from the Judgment Day versus The Miz. Miz was pretty much dissecting JD throughout the entire match, hits a suplex on the floor, and then out comes R-Truth. And he's got a bunch of merch. He's walking around the arena, handing out t-shirts to fans. He finds Dominic, puts a t-shirt over him, gives JD a stack of cash. Miz hits the skull-crushing finale. It's 1, 2, 3. The money flies everywhere. There's $100 bills raining in the arena, and that's the end of the match.
And then it cuts to Ludwig Kaiser, and
he's in Pierce's office.
And they're in Pierce's office, and they're trying to literally make sure that this celebration is perfect.
Yep. This is the Ring General. You can't mess this up, Adam Pearce. All right. Is everything we asked for going to be there? He reassures them. Yes, it is.
It's a big deal. It's 600 days. I feel like that's a big deal.
It's massive. It's massive. It's never been done. You'll never see another IC champion that does this again. Next, we got a promo from Punk. And it's like a surgery vlog type deal. He's being filmed, going into surgery, going under. And he's talking about rehab, coming back. It says that his comeback is going to be the greatest of all time. And honestly, I'm here for it. We need it. We need it now. Yeah. Next up on Raw, we have now the giant Gunther 600-day Intercontinental Championship celebration. On this day, it was exactly 605 days he's held the title. We'll never see anything like it again. Massive pyro. Gunther grabs the mic and he's like, listen, no more celebrations. I'm never losing this title. There's nobody worthy. I've beaten them all, and there's just nobody left. Then Jey Uso comes out, which I'm going to say Mike predicted this on last week's episode. He did, folks.
I've been predicting this for a long time.
It's on
and
the wax.
Pop that he received when he came out was astronomical.
Massive, absolutely massive. And I was shocked. I was like, dude, this kid just called this.
Than who? I mean,
Yeah,
think about
right.
it. It just makes too much sense to me that he would. I mean, they're not going to give him the world title right off the bat. I don't think that's believable.
No.
They need to build him as an Intercontinental Champion.
I agree.
And take it from there. And then
He
Gunther
came close
can
to
go for
beating the
world
tribal
title.
chief. You know what I mean? It was
I mean,
so
that
close.
was kind of just to fluff him up, that match.
Yeah,
You know what I
for
mean?
sure.
Just to get him to main event status, for real, you know?
Yeah, and he is main event Jey Uso.
For
and
real.
He is going against Gunther, the 600-plus day Intercontinental Champion.
That's going to be wild, wild.
It'd be one to remember. Cuts to backstage. We got Shinsuke Nakamura, and what looked like a pre-tape promo to me didn't look live. He's basically saying, Cody, this is not done. You know, even though we've had all these matches, this one tonight is where it ends. I'm gonna finish your story, type deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what he has been saying the whole time.
The
Kinda
whole
carrying
time,
on.
literally getting beat
I don't
every
know why
single
we're
time.
doing this again, but hey, it should be entertaining, so let's ride.
Yeah. Next up, we got a tag team title match, a women's tag team title match with Caden Carter and Katana Chance. You know, the recent champions. They just dropped them to the Kabuki Warriors, who they're going against.
And honestly, in my opinion, you can take the Kabuki Warriors, you can take Ilias Guy,
Yeah.
all of them. You can take what's left of Damage Control, and you can literally just move it to AEW, and I would not be worried about it. They'd probably, do better over there. I don't know.
Yeah,
but I just don't see
it's not
any
working
room
for
for
me
any
either.
of them. It really is unenjoyable to watch Asuka fight, and Sane is just a wet noodle.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know.
It's tough. It is tough. I'm pretty sure this tag team run is not going to be. It's
No.
not going to be a lengthy run.
It's gotta end soon, honestly.
So it starts up pretty hot. Both teams are looking good. Caden and Katana are moving fast, but unfortunately, it ends up with them missing the keg stand, that finishing move that they have.
It's a pretty cool move.
It is awesome. People usually don't kick out, when that's hit, and the Warriors end up retaining with the insane elbow, and still tag team champions. Your favorite team, Mike, the Kabuki Warriors.
Yay.
Cuts to an earlier shot before the fans got there in the arena of Sami Zayn. Basically, they're asking him, what's next for Sami? How do you feel about what's happened? And he's just reflecting on the last year, talks about being a championship contender, and how he wants to get back to it.
And now here we are at the main event.
You've waited for
The
it.
man of the month, the man of the year,
The
Cody
man
Rhodes.
of the year.
Comes out, Nakamura, bull rope match, just like his dad used to do, I'm guessing.
Yep,
right?
correct.
It has
And
to be
the
doing that.
last, to follow you up on that, the last WWE bull rope match that happened included Dusty Rhodes. It's been that long. So they're fighting outside the ring. They're in the crowd. It didn't take long for all that to happen. This was an actual bull rope used in Dusty's matches, which I thought was cool. We had back.
It's a nice touch.
Yeah, man. It meant that much more to Cody, to win that match, because this was his dad's actual bull rope that's been used. Near falls left and right. Cody hits the figure 4. He hits all the big moves, Mike. He hits the disaster kick.
As he does.
Yep, the Cody cutter. He then even hits his father's bionic elbow.
How could he not in this match? How could he not?
How could he not? He then hits a pedigree and gets misted by Nakamura after he kicks out.
Which looks cool. It looked like blood. It kind of
It did.
was like a little iconic.
Cody kind of no-sold it, though. He went right back at it, hit a crossroads. I thought it was over there. That crossroads hit hard, but Nakamura ended up getting out. He got out at 2. Cody says, fuck this. We're going full American Nightmare mode. Hits the second crossroads, 1, 2, 3. Cody wins the bull rope match for his dad.
But it's not over.
It's not. Because then you got that scumbag Drew McIntyre.
Really turning that heel over.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
He's dialing
being
it up right now, and
dark
it's working.
heel.
It's working. He attacks Cody, hits him with a Claymore after the match, and you're just like, what's next?
Damn. Time to wrap it up with our Lightning NXT February 6, 2024 episode. Kicks it off with Axiom and Nathan Frazier versus Idris and Malik.
Yeah.
It was a good match. Axiom and Nathan Frazier have this really speed combo thing going on.
Yep.
When they come out, it shows like speed graphics, like they're moving so fast. It's like
Okay,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, at least they got something going,
Yeah, they hit a really cool combo, Phoenix Splash and Spanish Fly at the same time.
Hell yeah.
It was a combo move. But then, Nathan Frazier hits the Phoenix Splash for the 1-2-3.
Yeah, it always looks devastating, too.
And, Axiom and Nathan Frazier get a victory and kind of solidify themselves as a tag team. Then we got Lexis King, your
One
favorite.
of my personal favorites. He's my NXT favorite. Yes, long live Lexis motherfucking King.
Versus Riley Osborne
Tough
of
opponent.
Chase U. And this is pretty much to defend the honor of Chase U because Lexis King has just been disrespectful backstage.
He has,
He's been
and I love
interrupting. He's been rude to Chase U. And, Riley Osborne wants to do something about it.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna finally put his money where his mouth is for sure.
Yeah. Osborne showcased himself in this match and always does as a high flyer. He's very quick,
very high octane,
smooth. He's
speed.
honestly might be one of the future great wrestlers, I think, honestly. We'll see where it goes, but he really does have the moveset and the foundation that
He
I
totally
feel like
does
he can
have
really
that
do
it
some
factor.
things. But, in the end, it was the coronation for the win for Lexis
What do I tell
King.
you, man?
And he just keeps rolling. He just keeps popping,
rolling. He's stacking dubs, and Lexis King is moving on with a win.
And next up, we have Roxanne Perez versus Lola Vice. This is a continuation off earlier in the episode where we were talking about Vengeance, when Lola Vice came in and cashed in her contract to butt into
during that
Perez's
match.
title fight against Valkyria. So in this fight, Tatum Paxley comes out and tries to cash in a title contract, which doesn't go through. I don't think it was a real contract. I'm not sure what was up with that. But because of that, Roxanne Perez was able to hit her pop rocks for the win and get the victory in this one.
And it kind of always ends up with that pop rocks for the win. I like her. I like what she's doing. Let's keep it rolling.
Next up, we got the lovely ladies of Metaphor. We have Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. They went against Fallon Henley and Ren Sinclair. It was a pretty even fight, but Last Legend and Jakara do tend to dominate. So it was a chokeslam powerbomb combo from Last Legend on Sinclair for that 1-2-3.
I don't think I would have kicked
Metaphor
out of that.
gets the win in that fight. Now, before we get to the main event, there's 3 promos in this show that I have to cover.
Okay.
The first one is when they opened the show, we had Braun Breaker and we had Baron Corbin.
Yes,
they were
Wolf
just
Dogs.
kind of flaunting the trophy, showing off their
Dusty
win.
Cup.
They wanted the ring announcer to announce them as the Dusty Cup champions.
Yes, and rightfully so.
They went back and forth and showed their goofiness with each other a little bit. They ripped on each other a little bit. It was pretty cool. I like those two as a pair. So they said they were excited to get their title shot, and
it's gonna happen, guys.
It's gonna happen. Basically, the champions came out, and I'm pretty sure that this thing's gonna happen. I think next week.
Yep, it is confirmed, so we can look forward to that.
I'm excited for the match, but I don't think that Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker can lose this match, and that means that my boys in the family are at risk of losing their titles. So I'm not a big fan of that. But the other promo I want to mention here is the Carmelo Confession promo that we just watched.
We just watched it a little while ago.
And Carmelo comes out.
Fire.
He's now heel Carmelo. He's now in his black attire. He is now saying all the things to get everybody to rile up.
And
then he says,
catching heat.
You guys need to hear my side of the story.
Right, yeah, there's always two sides.
To tell the fans that, we had an agreement. Me and Trick said that he would go after the North American title, and I would go against the NXT champion.
Yeah.
And that was the plan. And because Trick, disrespected him and
Heavily.
went right after the NXT championship, that he was pissed and he did what he had to do and the only thing that he could do, and that he then exposed himself as the person finally that attacked Trick backstage.
Oh, damn.
And obviously has been jealous for a really long time. But he ends it with saying that Trick has never been anything more than his hype man, and he will never be more than his hype man. Now, the third promo that I have to talk about here was when Ilya Dragunov came out all ahead of steam and called out Carmelo and called for him to calm down and face him, and none other than Dijak comes out. And that's when Dijak basically peacocks to him, disrespects Ilya Dragunov. They brawl, and all of a sudden it gets separated, and now they have a match, for later on in the night.
Yeah, which
and
would
that's
be
when we
epic.
get to our main event here. That's why
Main
I can
event
now
time.
get to our main event, because the main event now
Ring the
is
bell.
Ilya Dragunov versus Dijak.
Fire.
And we get right into that match. Let's just say right off the bat, this one was a battle between the two. Honestly,
Yeah,
Dijak
man.
put up a pretty good fight and is actually improving a lot as a wrestler. He started becoming a little more believable in my
Yeah, for
in my
sure.
mind.
And it's taken him a while, too, but it's definitely working.
But
I'm
this
liking
is
it.
the lightning round, so I guess we're going to get right to the chase.
Yes.
Gacy pops up from under the ring with a boxing glove that's connected to like one of those accordion.
Yeah,
like,
so it
you
just
know what I mean?
rips.
It just hits him
goes.
right in the face. He turns around, he gets the H-bomb for the victory.
1, 2,
and
3.
Ilya Dragunov takes this one and, starts celebrating, whatever the case
Yep,
may
he's
be.
pumped.
And then all of a sudden, who pops up but none other
Who else but-
than Carmelo Hayes. And then he hits
Yes.
him, takes him out from behind the knee just like he did the Trick, beats him down, and then raises his title up like it's his.
It is, exactly.
And that is our NXT Lightning Round.
Lightning. Now, to end the show, I'm going to give you something from today in wrestling history. I'll give you a few, one from a long time ago and one from a little bit more recent times. Today in 1986, Macho Man Randy Savage won his first championship in WWE, defeating Tito Santana, the Matador, for the Intercontinental Championship in Boston, Massachusetts.
Awesome.
And on this day in the year 2000, on a taping of SmackDown in Austin, Texas, Kurt Angle defeated Val Venus, hello ladies, Val Venus to win the WWF European Championship. This was Angle's first major title in the WWF at the time.
And it's funny you mentioned Val Venus because he was recently quoted in saying that he feels like he's being erased from the WWE
I did
books.
see that as well. They did not put him in the game. That
Yeah,
was
like
a big hit.
like he would have ever been in the game.
He hasn't been in a game since like WWF
No,
Attitude.
has he ever been in a game?
WWF Attitude.
Thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of the Source Podcast. You can find us on Instagram at the Source Podcast _. And you can also find us on TikTok at the Source Podcast _. Same one. And on Facebook.
Go
Check it
follow
out.
us, guys. Give us a rating on the show. Thank you so much. We can't wait to do this again. Once again, this is the Source Wrestling Podcast with Joe
And
and
Mike.
yeah. Let us talk to you.